Welcome. We are playing Apocalypse Keys by Ray Najati. I'm calling this campaign Bonds of Power. We'll see how this goes. I'm Mads, she, they, and this is my first time running Apocalypse Keys, although I've played it a couple of times, and I just want to welcome my players who are engaging in this experiment with me. Thank you very much. And let's go ahead and do like just a round of player introductions. I don't know if you've all played with each other at least once before. If not, this is a great time to just say, hey, how you doing? So let me start from left to right on my screen. So Matt, can you go ahead and say, pronouns as well as interest or experience with Apocalypse Keys?
Sure. I'm Matt. I go by he, him pronouns. I've never played Apocalypse Keys before. I have played with some of the other people in this group, but mostly Blood in the Clock Tower, not RPGs, except for Ben. Play with Ben all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, cool. And Elle.
I'm Elle. My pronouns are she, her. I believe I've played with all of you, except for Matt. I've only played Blood of the Clock Tower with them, but I'm very excited to get a chance to play a different sort of game with you. And I've played a handful of session of Apocalypse Keys and run a handful as well. So I have some experience, although I'm not an expert.
I'm Ben. I use he and him pronouns. I have played a couple sessions of a really early version of Apocalypse Keys, but it's been a while. I'm looking forward to seeing how it has grown, and also looking forward to playing with everyone. I think the only person I haven't played with before is Chris, except on Blood of the Clock Tower. So,
Chris, he, him. I played like a one shot once in playtest, maybe. And yeah, I've played with you, Mads, and Elle before, but not Matt or Ben. So looking forward to that.
All right, awesome. Okay, so just going to go through a semi-round of cats. Concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. I'm going to be pulling a lot of this stuff from the book because it's very well written and has a lot of material in it. So again, the fun and the challenge of doing this game will be going through the wealth of material that's here. Okay. So again, cats, concept first. So basically, Apocalypse Keys is a tabletop role-playing game about monsters holding back the apocalypse. These monsters are agents who work for Division, a mysterious organization dedicated to understanding the occult, taming the supernatural, and protecting the world. A world that is built for the mundane and for humans. A world that tries to pretend monsters are not real. It is also a game of emotional connection, though. Complicated relationships are included here, unpredictable mysteries, larger-than-life apocalyptic threats, and the brightest hope in the darkest despair. And all of our players are monsters bound by fate, love, and power. Aim. Apocalypse Keys asks you to play characters who are conflicted and complex, each yearning to connect meaningfully to the monsters and humans around them. They are terrifying and monstrous, but they are also aching and human. To play Apocalypse Keys means playing vulnerable characters in a position to hurt and be hurt. The emotional tension of the game lies in the characters attempting to move past that and accept that they'll make mistakes while still striving to be better. Okay. Tone. The inspirations for Apocalypse Keys are many, mainly inspired by Hellboy, the films and the comics, as well as the spin-off comic series BPRD that focuses on the other monstrous agents. But this game also leans into other stories and genres that focus on investigating the strange and the weird. So some examples include comics and films of Men in Black, the video game Unavowed, the comic League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the TV series Penny Dreadful, the TV series and comic Doom Patrol, and the interpersonal drama and blockbuster explosions of the original Marvel superhero comics, films, and television shows, among others. All right. Subject matter. Again, this is verges into emotional connection and relationships, but this game does deal with mature themes such as the end of the world, supernatural forces, and the occult. Some concepts lean into experiences that you may find parallel with racism and marginalization. Depending on the elements of the game that we choose to focus on, the following content may also occur: genocide, cultural genocide, survivor's guilt, unhealthy parental and familial relationships, toxic interpersonal relationships, mind control, emotional manipulation, memory loss, and body horror. You are encouraged to change the aspects of the game to improve your enjoyment of the game, but it's also okay not to play some of the parts of it. And in which case, we do have a safety tab on our character keeper. And that safety tab contains our lines and veils. So I believe some players have already gone through it. If you haven't, then please like add to it what we have so far. What we have so far for lines. Line is something that won't be crossed and will not be part of the game at all, which includes child sexual abuse, epidemics, pandemics, intimate partner violence, sexual assault, sexual violence, and effective torture. Veils are something that may come up, or be present, but not be described in any detail. We'll fade to black on that. And those veils include cannibalism, graphic injuries and gore, harm to children, homophobia, transphobia, racism, with a note of fantasy racism against monsters, okay with a light touch, understood, sexual content, and torture. There is also a column for ask first. So obviously, like, if it does come up, it's like, just kind of be like, or if it might be mentioned, it might be good to check in and say, is this okay? All right. And that includes casual murder, mind control, self-harm with intent for suicide, and slavery. And of course, we do have the green column, which is interest. We want to see this. Body horror, classism, PC betrayal, religion, cults, and romance. So yes, we're very varied here. We also have a romance matrix, which has consent for romance with each other, like as PCs, or romance with NPCs. And then, like, I've asked the players to fill in as needed for yes, no, or ask first, and with their preferences, just to make sure, like, if you're not interested in that sort of thing, then I'm perfectly happy in, like, cutting that out, or like, having the other players respect what boundaries that you want to keep. All right. And other safety tools that are available are, of course, Open Door, which is, you don't have to explain why, but I mean, if you have to open door out of the session for whatever reason, or like out of the game, perfectly fine to do so. Just let us know if you're planning on coming back after the scene for the next session, or not at all. So this way we're just aware and you don't have to explain why. All right. And X card. If there's anything that comes up that, oh my gosh, this is unfun, in an objectionable way, please make an X in the video with your arms, do an X in the chat, or just say X card, and then we will stop, find out what needs to be X carded, take that out, and then move on. All right. So it'll be like that did not happen. All right. So those are the safety tools that we have available on the table. And I think I've covered everything for safety and cats. And yeah, we are going to go ahead and continue with character creation. I gave the players the playbook access, and they've been trying to create characters as we go along. So I'm just going to do like a bit of a pause in the video to allow more tweaking of the characters that they have so far on their playbooks. And then when we come back, we're going to go ahead and introduce the characters first, so everybody's familiar with who's on the table. And then we will go back again and then create the bonds between the characters. Okay. So let me go. You would just introduce your omen by, name, pronouns, choices that you've made during character creation. So the origin, the look, like some of the prompts that you were given, and definitely stress your origin and what the darkness demands of you, those choices that you've made, so we can try to figure out what makes your monster what they are. All right. So I'm not going to force Matt to go first. If anybody wants to jump in, fantastic.
I can go then.
Okay.
I'm playing the Found. He uses he, they, or no pronouns, but he goes by Zero. His origin was that he was found in an abandoned facility that performed cruel experiments, leaving him with scars from a time they cannot remember. They also have a hypnotizing aura and the smell of incense and flowers about them. And the darkness demands that they empower the harbingers of the apocalypse and that they open a permanent portal to a dark realm.
I can go.
Okay.
I'm playing the Last, a refugee from a destroyed planet. They have a name that's temporary. They've grown used to. Their name is the chord progression 641, but they go by Vivi because that's kind of awkward otherwise. Their look is that their eyes contain a galaxy and that their movements don't always quite line up with being human because their form that is perceived is not actually their real form. They go by they, them. And what the darkness demands of them is to betray division and then resurrect their species at the expense of humanity.
I'm playing the Summoned. She has a name that conveys strength and power, or a certain form of it anyway. Her name is The Whisper Becomes a Scream, which she shortens to Wisp. And she uses both she and they pronouns. Either is fine. She comes from a nightmare realm that will crown her ruler of a broken world. This is actually the realm that we know as Fairy, but I'm thinking that Fairy is quite different than how it appears in our fairy tales. I think all of that is propaganda for the despotic regime that runs Fairy and has for a long time. And most of it is really just this horrific kind of kaiju wasteland where people are sort of Mad Maxing it and apocalypse worlding it. While like the few people that have money and power live in these beautiful like walled garden cities that are much more kind of familiar to what we know. Her look is that she has eyes of the brightest gold, shattered horns, and an empty and tarnished locket. The prophecy that haunts her is to gather her acolytes from the weak and oppressed and turn them into the most fearsome harbingers. And the darkness demands that they embrace and strengthen their prophecy and that they push away those that they need most.
The being formerly known as Peter Corda, reborn as Petrichor, is the Herald playbook. They use any pronouns. Their name was taken from someone else. They're an ordinary person possessed by a fragment of power. They have dark growths and tendrils beneath the skin, eyes lacking sclera, and a jeweled carapace. Their powers of darkness are matter manipulation, and the darkness demands that they learn the secrets of other monsters and give unto the world the love of the unknown. Did I miss anything?
Don't think so. Not at the moment. Yeah. We will find out
Please
more
imagine
things.
them with a rainbow tonsure. Yes, like monks have.
Yeah. All right. Oof. Okay. We're going to go back and talk about like each of the characters in turn, just to kind of get a little bit more information. like so. I'm gonna start with 0. Okay. All right. So you don't remember much before division when they found you?
Sorry, we were talking about character keeper things. No, I remember very little before being found by division, just snatches of dreams, probably.
Does has division told you anything about you know, the lab that you were found in? Have they said anything at all about what they suspect?
Not to 0. I think they are useful right now, not knowing much. So why chance changing that situation?
Do you want to know?
I think not particularly.
And when you well, I should say when you were found, were you awake, or did they find you in a half dream?
A half dream, yes.
Was it a half dream or a half nightmare? Did you attack them, or were they able to help you or contain you until you were fully conscious?
I think they handled him very carefully upon discovery and treated him like he was a risk for quite some time. He has earned a bit of trust as a member of division by not hurting people usually.
And let's see. A lot of it will come into play for sure. And then we will see how you interact with the other omens. Is there anything that you wanted to say about your specific powers?
So I'm starting with the move Walk with Me in Dreams and the Ruin move Crowned by Dream, Exalted by Nightmare. So I can basically sorry, I'm having a hard time locating it. I have learned how to travel through the portals that connect all dreamers, even locations and objects, and Harbinger's Dream. I can spend tokens and roll to see where it takes me. And I can also harness dreams and create great and terrible weapons from them. And that will have some fun effects for my rune track.
All right. That's going to be interesting for sure. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's go over to... Is there anything else that you remember? Like, is there any specific memory that you hold that keeps you going and at least makes sure that you're not gonna at this point, let yourself go out of control?
I don't know for sure, but I have the suspicion that I was not alone wherever I was in the lab. And knowing that there might be someone out there who knows me, someone who is important to me, does kind of keep me on a bit of a tether.
Thank you. Let's go to the last. All right. Vivi. You are a refugee from a destroyed planet. Huh. What tragedy destroyed your people?
The search for ever greater power, the search for a way to break the laws of the universe was discovered too late to be mortgaged against their own future. I can be more specific if you'd like.
Yeah, no, I mean that would be helpful. Like, I mean, did they did they create such change on the planet itself? Did they like
Absolutely. So they discovered a way to grant time distortion and dimensional phasing powers to themselves. And because the universe likes balance, whenever one timeline was expanded to allow someone to use those powers, someone else's timeline was cut short. And as that became apparent, more and more people rushed to gain their own powers. And then you were left with those who had the powers and were alive, but could not continue the species, and those who were dead and did not have the powers.
how did you survive that?
Vivi was on the team that first invented this process and was one of the earlier members of their people to have it done before the consequences were realized.
Did you phase to Earth essentially accidentally, or was it on purpose? Was it conscious?
It was conscious. Someone that Vivi cared about had been watching Earth and watching humanity for some time and thought there was perhaps things to learn from humanity. And before they died, they begged Vivi to learn from humanity.
How long would you say you've been studying them? If you're using Earth years.
Let's call it 30 some.
What do you think you've learned from humanity so far?
Great empathy and great cruelty.
Talk about weird balance. All right. Let's head over to the summoned. Wisp, you are aware of this prophecy. Do you feel the weight of this crown, or is this something that you are dreading and looking forward to at the same time?
Yeah, I think division made me aware of this prophecy when they brought me to this realm. I don't think I'm feeling the weight of it quite yet. I mean, there's part of me I think that can see that possible future, because I saw how people scrounged and turned against each other just to survive, while everyone in those walled cities had their every need taken care of. So I can understand why I might sort of become this dark revolutionary figure. But I think what I'm trying to figure out is why that's such a bad thing. Why division doesn't want that to happen. There must be part of it that they're not telling me, I think.
Did they so they truly summoned you then? I mean, you didn't come curious as to, oh hey, here's humans.
No, I don't think I even knew how. I think that kind of magic is the purview of the people that ruled fairy. People like me didn't have access to that. Maybe not even knowledge that other places existed.
Did you feel it as a pull? Or were you curious? Or did you get pulled in violently to this dimension?
Yeah, I think it was sudden and violent, though not purposefully so. I think it was just, if you can imagine, just being out hunting, doing what you need to get food to live, and suddenly it's like the world cracks open and there's a shattering and a sudden darkness, and then you're in a new place that you did not even know existed before. That sounds like a traumatic experience to me, and I think that's how Wisp experienced it, even if that wasn't Division's explicit intention.
And it was Division that met you when you came through then.
It
wasn't
was.
What prevented you from just all out attacking attacking them?
Oh, I think I tried.
Okay.
They were prepared for that, I think.
What makes you feel that you want to help rather than break free and try to go home?
I think those reasons are twofold. One, there's just not a lot of home to go back to. I think that the life Wisp has now, working on behalf of Division, is like more comfortable by many, many degrees than the life she left behind. So even if it's not the life she chose or strove for, um, I think she feels like it's her best option, quite sincerely. And I think she enjoys it. I mean, she gets to fight for a cause now, even one that she doesn't fully understand, rather than for scraps.
What do you think of the mundane and the humans?
I think they're soft. I don't know that I think that's bad necessarily. It's just strange.
Do you feel that you are able to relate to them in any way?
Not really, not yet, but I think I want to. I want to find pleasure in something as small and simple as a cup of coffee. I want to turn off the part of my brain and my existence that says I must be either fighting or fleeing at all times. I would like to be
Was
more like them, yeah.
was there one or more humans when you came through the tear that convinced you or helped you to stand down or calm down and realize that this wasn't meant to be a adversarial act necessarily?
Yeah, I think there was a particular agent um, who whose job it was to sort of, the word that's coming to mind is indoctrinate, but that's not what I mean. On board, there we go.
Okay.
On board me. Um, and he is still sort of my most direct handler, so to speak. I don't know what terminology we want to use.
Yeah.
I can think of a name for him.
Okay. Yeah. We'll also engage once we start to develop Division and such. So, but yeah, I was curious whether there was anyone mundane that happened to, help you. All right. So let's go over to the Herald. Chris, are you okay to talk about the Herald? You represent somebody. You are the Herald of someone. Are you fully conscious of that though? Or did you wake? Were you this human, this person before you became this Herald?
Everything that has been done to me was done with my full consent.
Why? Why serve this particular master? What was the appeal?
Everyone is so concerned with the end of the world. No one is asking the real questions. What comes next? What will the new world hold? No one, of course, except for my master.
Is this your way of bringing others, the people that live here, the beings that live here in this dimension, into the fold? Are you the I'm not going to say harbinger. Are you the one that is
Herald, the
are you the one
I
to help bring them in?
I am the one for this world. There are many others. And it is always their choice, really.
Is this world going to be moving into your master's realm, or are you the one inviting people to see what wonders he has or they
My
have?
master is already here. Whether they are aware of it is, as I said, ultimately their decision. And as to whether they shall remain in the next world, the possibility is open. That is the thing about living in a world that has already ended. You are through the worst of it. You will survive. You may well survive into the next.
Are you humoring the humans? Or are you passing along the good word?
It has become my task to know and love them. I have no answers as to why. And there are, of course, many other forces that would shape the world. I've taken to division to aid in their culling.
Did you say calling or culling?
Culling.
Ooh.
Or perhaps calling as my master sees fit.
This will be fun. Okay. All right. So, knowing all this, if anybody has any general questions to ask of each other, then please do, because then we will move on to the starting bonds, which will create the starting bonds that you will use mechanically towards any roll if things go a little bit awry. Let's see.
I have a question for everyone, actually.
Okay.
Given that I've taken dream protocols, is there any sort of symbol that represents your character that I can work into dreams?
Ooh.
The poppy.
Anyone else?
Thorn divine.
That's a good question. I'm going to go with the spirograph, which, if I'm misremembering the name, it's what happens when you perfectly overlay a bunch of circles on each other, offset slightly.
Thank you.
Out of curiosity, what's Vivi's symbol?
It's an excellent question. I don't. I think perhaps the moon or an eclipse.
All right, cool.
I
So,
also have a
yeah, go ahead.
question for everybody.
Go for it.
Who is the oldest? Not in terms of age, but who has been here the longest and who is the newest, do we think?
That's an interesting question. So, I'm going to propose a backstory thing, and feel free to say no to any of this. I think it would be interesting if Vivi spent much of the time that they have studying humanity initially in a time loop. So they have lived the first week of their time with division for years before exiting it. So they might know certain things very well, but not a lot outside of that area, perhaps. But from outside perspective, they may have only been here a short time.
I don't think Wisp is new per se, although I don't think she's been here the longest because of one of her bonds stipulates that someone else among our player characters was there when she was summoned.
With the lab, I feel like Zero, it's almost implied that Zero would be probably the newest or one of the newest.
I think it could go either way, especially if he was perhaps under observation for a long time before being allowed on field work.
Yeah, true.
I'm happy being the oldest to come to division.
Then in that case, looks like Vivi and Zero are newer.
Yeah, that works.
His agents anyway.
Yeah.
It's also really unclear how long division has even been around.
Oh, we will develop that. No worries. So let's go ahead and start with the starting bonds. I mean, we might have to break for like another like hourly break, but let's go ahead and get started with the bonds. So again, in the order that we started, we're going to go with the found first. All right. So Zero. Actually, you know what? No, let's do it the other way, since we've established like who was at division longest. Maybe like we go from there, and then like build from that point. So let me go with the Herald first. Excuse me.
Okay, I've pulled them up. Wait, I'm muted. Oh,
No,
no,
you're
I'm
good.
not. Cool.
You're good. Okay, so I'm looking at the questions as well. So each question at a time, you're going to ask each question to a different Omen class monster.
Yes.
So the first question is, you have never truly trusted me. What about me frightens you? Who do you want to ask that of?
I'm going to ask that of Vivi. Or wait,
Really trusted you.
wait, was you were the one that's also a multi-dimensional being, right?
Yeah, it's not huge though. I'm
Okay.
thinking
No,
maybe
that I'm just I wanted to double check that I didn't get the characters mixed up between you and Ben.
Sorry, can you repeat the bond question again?
It was, what about you never truly trusted me? What about me frightens you?
I think what would frighten the Herald, well, frighten Vivi, but from the Herald would be, you said that everything that was done, you consented to, and given that you are predicting or leading to a foregone destruction of the world, or that the world is already destroyed, that's in such contrast with what happened with the last's own background, that they can never fully understand why you would choose to do that, which makes you very suspicious. It's almost antithetical to Vivi's motivations. That was a long answer. You chose this, and that is suspicious.
Yeah, bonds don't have to necessarily always be positive. So yeah, you would gain, Petri would gain one bond with Vivi. Okay.
Wait, how many eyes are there in Vivi?
Just right with just VI.
It's 2 each, right?
It's VII.
It's
but yeah.
Roman numerals, man.
Yeah.
No, but one of them is lowercase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're doing it in chordal notation.
Oh my god. Oh wait, is that minor key, or is that like
is.
major key? Okay.
Yeah.
So then it would be two that are lowercase, and then one that is upper.
Yep.
Minor 6, major 4, and minor
Major 1.
Oh, major 1? I thought you said minor 1. Okay. Yeah, never mind. Strike that. Just go with what what Matt put down. I should know these things. My major. God. Never mind. Been a while. All right.
We're
Next
putting
question.
it exactly there correctly, and I'm not even sure if I did it right. Bond rating with 1.
They're not symmetric, right? Like,
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
you will need to replace that, but we're gonna do that anyway, so I'm just leaving it.
Yeah, and if you forget, then I mean, like, I'm gonna send the recording to all of you. So, like, you know, you can just go over it again and then make sure it's in your playbooks about like what's the story again. All
My
right.
next question. Hang on, let me do battle with my many windows for a second. My next question is for Wisp. You introduced me to something wondrous and new. What was it?
Oh, what was it indeed? Um, you seem like you probably weren't much of a fighter before I came around. Stop me if that's not a reasonable assumption. Um, but I wonder if we haven't been training together either just because I wanted to or because we were assigned to do such. And I've taught you that violence can feel like its own reward.
Does that suit Petri?
Oh no.
Oh
The
no.
last thing I heard was the word violence.
Oh.
Oh, so you didn't miss much actually. I said I wonder if I haven't taught you that violence can feel like its own reward.
Horrific. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's 2 bonds. So
Yes.
then I guess that means that the last question would go to
Why am I tempted to give in to what the darkness demands? Oh no.
I think ever since I've been brought into Division, you have been having the most vivid dreams that show you already doing it. And it is much more tempting now than it had ever been. It feels closer.
and that would just be a bond with what the darkness demands of you. So
Yes.
all right. And then Wisp.
My first question, I think, is going to go to our Herald, given what we discussed about timeline. So you were there when I was summoned. What makes you afraid of me?
You're too simple. Simple like a knife's edge. I have been tasked with finding a greater purpose for all who fall in my way. I cannot imagine one for you.
Do not let her find
Okay.
out that you think that. Yeah, no, that sounds great.
That's great. Yep. So you gain 1 bond with Petri.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, this next one, man.
I'm really torn over who to ask this next one. Let's go with 0. Why can't you tell me you love me? And feel free to interpret love in whatever way you wish.
You, a preview. I am going to be asking you about when I was found. You were there when I was found, and you are one of the first faces from Division that I remember. And you are a face of those that have kept me like a pet for however long and treated me like a child with scissors. And I resent it.
Thank you. And Vivi, Why am I tempted to give in to what the darkness demands?
So Wisp observed that humans are soft. And I think if she were to interpret the prophecy a certain way, that softness would be instead a ripe target for domination, for rulership. And while people being soft isn't necessarily a bad thing, it might trigger a kind of predatory instinct in Wisp. The softness almost demands violence in some cases.
Indeed, it does. All right, that's all of my questions. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, yeah, let me do Vivi first. So the last, your starting bonds. Go ahead and ask your first question and pick.
So, Petri, you have a connection to a greater being and might know hidden knowledge, one would say, right?
Yes.
So I think you know of another like me. How does keeping this secret from me protect me?
Every possible future where the two of you meet ends in one of your deaths.
I love it.
Even in the ones where you are the one to survive, to have that kind of hope destroyed is more than you can bear.
And that's saying something for a being that lives in time loops. Dang. Okay.
I love it so much. Struggling with this next one because I think if I haven't been there very long, it's going to be a challenge. But I think
Actually, it shouldn't be because it's again because of your time looping. I mean, it's kind of like
so
relative, you
okay.
know?
I think it would be interesting to potentially, have had some sort of connection, but maybe in a past that didn't keep.
Ooh.
I think that's going to go to Wisp. We loved each other once. Why do we keep hurting each other?
Oh, interesting. So when you were in this time loop, was it like a closed loop, so to speak, or was it more like you were kind of shifting between the same section of different timelines?
I think it was a closed loop of a fixed length where Vivi was trying to learn about humanity effectively.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I'm really interested in this question, but I'm drawing a blank. Does anyone have a thought? Even a speck of a thought?
So time displacement and looping is very strange. And don't ask me why. I feel like I understand it a little bit more than others. But I feel like if Vivi was in this loop and very conscious of how it was working, but then maybe Wisp wasn't, then she's kind of following like similar patterns. Even when she breaks out of it, then she still manages to hurt you, but then you hurt her because then you're trying to adjust. And understanding humans is way different from understanding her type of fae. So I think you fall into a relationship loop, you fall in love in whatever ways that you do, but then you each do something to hurt each other in small or even large ways. And this has been going on for however long the time loop has been happening.
Oh, how about this? To build on that, I think even though Wisp doesn't have any control over time and dimensions, I think her very nature as a kind of interdimensional being, like literally a being that came from another dimension, um, perhaps she was also interacting with this time loop in a strange way, and I can't go into the physics of it, but perhaps like she grew able to experience it with you somehow. And when we were able to grow closer through that shared experience, but when Division found out um, that something was up with Wisp, and they sort of maybe they did something to remove those memories or kind of cut her off from the loop, and she doesn't remember um, getting close to you and the things that we learned about each other, the secrets we shared. She has no recollection of any of that.
And that would be traumatic because presumably Vivi would have memories that Wisp doesn't, and also knowledge that you wouldn't necessarily want someone to have if you weren't in a remembered relationship with them. Like that would be not great in some cases.
Yeah, and I think she's prickly usually, so it's not the kind of thing that you could just um, bring up casually. I mean, it wouldn't be anyway, but especially not with her. So it's like the pain is that you'll, or it feels like you'll never be able to rebuild what you lost.
If you want to add one more knife to this, if Wisp was aware that she was going to lose her memories, she may have asked Vivi to not pursue a relationship in the future because it wouldn't be her anymore.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Oh no. Oh, I could
I'm
tempt you
I'm
so
already
hard with
shipping and it's
multiverse
hurting.
bullshit.
Damn. Oh, I'm already shipping hard and this is bad. We're not even in the first mystery. It's great. I'd love it. I do. But I also hate it. Oh my God. Mm.
I will write up more about that afterwards.
Again, I'm going to be sending this video to you guys so you can review. And your last question.
To Zero. Why am I tempted to give into what the darkness demands?
Being here, being on the ground that you and Wisp have walked on in ways you won't again is harder and crueler than you anticipated feeling here.
Heartbreak. What a wonderful, wonderful reason to be damaged. Thank you. That's all my questions.
Yeah. And that would actually be a one bond with what the darkness demands of you, for
Oops.
sure.
One.
So,
Right.
yeah. Oh man. Wow. Okay. So let's just double check myself. All right. So we're going to finish off with Zero. Starting bonds.
So, as previewed, Wisp, you were there when I was found. Do you pity or admire me?
I think I pity you, especially as I know what it's like to be sort of taken away from a potentially uncomfortable but familiar reality to this like new reality of division and being kind of plunged into things. But I also see the way that they treat you with kid gloves. I think I wish I could teach you to assert yourself more. And I think I'm totally oblivious to the fact that you associate me with division in the way that you do. Um, as far as I'm concerned, we're on the same side. We are the same. Um, except that I have strength that I don't see in you.
Excellent. I love that. Thank you. I've waffled on who to ask this next one to, but I think I will go to Petri for this. You love me, but I don't understand love. Why won't you give up on me? Interpret love as you deem appropriate.
It would be so easy to say that it was my mission. But no. There's just something about the way that you feel ancient in the way that I am ancient. Feel multifaceted, the way that we are the same, you and I. We have something of the same stuff at our core. I haven't been able to put a name to it, but it draws me to you.
Excellent. Thank you. And so to Vivi, why am I tempted to give into what the darkness demands?
There's two sides to this drive. One side is revenge on Division for treating you the way they did. The other side of that is to fulfill that expectation, as they are the only sort of parental figure, if you might even call them that, in the memory that you have. And they expect you to need to be treated with kid gloves. You better show them that they are right.
Very good. Thank you.
Speaking of division, now that we've set up all these starting bonds, now we are going to build division together. All right. So in the very beginning, it's the full word of what division stands for. Yay. Oh boy. So Department of Interdimensional Vigilance and International Security, Interdisciplinary Operations Network. That is the full thing of division. And I joked in the game that we're finishing up that I got to come up with, like, the acronyms for like what the hell multiplication and subtraction and addition stand for, because it's just too damn tempting. I got to do it. But anyway, right now we're going to be building division. We're going to establish just enough to start, and then build upon these prompts as we go ahead and play, because this is the world that you guys are going to be inhabiting, and it'll be more real to you as you go along and interact with these humans, with these mundane folks that you'll run into, especially once we get into the mysteries. So let's start with, where is this division located? Are there many branches or just this one?
I like there being the idea of having this one be the main one, but there being a bunch of maybe field offices so that you could have a base to operate out of, or have an NPC that visits or goes somewhere else afterwards.
I am personally a complete sucker for the secret base inside the pyramids trope. And I feel like we can extrapolate that to a variety of landmarks in a way that I will never get tired of.
Now,
I mean, there's an inverted pyramid under the Louvre.
That's true.
Shit.
Okay. Well, I mean, the one that
anyone can veto me on this, by the way.
I mean,
If
the one
too far.
the one that we're in is was set near Montreal, and so it needed access to a bistro that would make jumbo croissants for our summit, because he eats a lot. So I mean, you can do any which way. I mean, if you want to be under the Louvre, great. If you don't, I mean, just let's place it somewhere else. What do you think?
I am totally cool with being under the Louvre.
Sure.
Because surely no one would attack a place that was surrounded by priceless art and destroy it accidentally.
You put that lathe down, or it'll be a headline next week.
The main office. I mean, like I'm picturing like something like Umbrella Corporation, where it's like you got to go down under layers
Yeah,
to get to.
that's the good shit.
Yeah. So, Louvre combined
Obviously,
with
all
Umbrella
division
Corps.
bases are in the Hollow Earth.
What you really have to worry about is the dungeons under division, which are the subdivision.
Oh my
Hmm.
God.
No,
Sub
frankly, what we
basements.
really have to worry about are the tourists.
Yeah. Well.
Actually, now that we've said, I just remembered the Paris catacombs are a thing, and I think that's an absolutely spectacular place to hide a secret deep state organization.
So I love the concept of that. The game that I ran of Apocalypse Keys was headquartered in the catacombs, so I would like to do something different, if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
An idea too good to be original.
Ideas are universal. It's like, how you look at them that are individual. So yeah, I mean, like, are we still running with the Umbrella Corps combined with the Louvre?
Okay, if you've done the catacombs already, let's just leave France.
Okay.
Because fuck
I don't care.
I've always thought that like one day the middle of the Colosseum would open up and like a rocket ship would come out of it or something.
Oh, I mean,
so we're in the Vatican deep basement. Okay, cool.
oh, that'd be hilariously funny. It's like,
I mean, religion was greened on the list.
okay.
I mean, like it's that or the middle of Lake Superior or some shit. Like,
there could be, if you want to go very different, there could be a town that is apparently a paper town, but in fact actually exists. So it's recorded everywhere as being a fake town, but it actually is on maps. But like it's notably non-existent.
But it's real.
But it's real.
yeah.
Interesting.
Because that way people who are supposed to have access to it through some mystical property can actually get in there. And everyone else goes, oh yeah, I tried to drive to wherever the place is. It doesn't exist. But if you actually need to find it, like it's on a map, it's fine. As long as you have the right key to get in.
It's
like
we said it would be.
It's
Yeah.
like something that's in the Atlas Obscura, but then like not in the Atlas Obscura. Or something like, weirdly, like, I don't know, Atlantis, Oregon. I don't know. I mean, you tell me.
Kansas City, Illinois.
Oh, Springfield. It's got to be in a Springfield because there's a gazillion Springfields.
Springfield or a Charleston.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
What if are there any famous like disappeared towns? I keep thinking of Roanoke, but the actual like town didn't disappear.
There are a couple I can think of out in like the Great American Desert, because probably flash floods happened.
So what if Division picked up one of those in towns entirely and moved it to like Idaho?
All right, so there's a few. You just have to say like what town you want. Like there's Calico, California, or Kennecott, Alaska, or Pripyat. I don't know where the hell Pripyat is.
Russia?
Yeah. Isn't that?
I feel like
Yeah.
that's I feel like I know people who have been there. Isn't that where Chernobyl is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what
yeah,
about,
I mean, these are ghost towns.
Centralia. It is a town in Pennsylvania that was evacuated because the coal mines underneath it set on fire.
Yes.
So there's just this burning mine under the whole town.
Oh, that for sure 100% a portal to hell. Next question.
Exactly.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the one.
Yeah,
so we want Centralia in okay, perfect.
Yeah. What a perfect
That's near
cover
me.
too.
Okay. All right, great.
Love
Not terribly
the
near me,
idea
but I mean,
of Division just fully pulling a Doom and harvesting energy from hell itself.
Oh, it's great. That's awesome.
That always goes so well
Efficient.
for them.
Yes, efficient.
Yeah, limitless clean energy, and it doesn't show up on the national grid. It's perfect.
Oh yeah, they're like off grid, for sure. Okay, so we've established that, and now this would be the main office, correct? Are we still going with the idea that there's field offices?
I think for practicality, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Because I mean, like, you can always be at like
Ghost
depots
town of your
nearby.
choice in country.
Yeah, true. And then like you can also like say you need to stop off at the field office first before you go to wherever the mystery is held, right?
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. All right. Now, this will be a paint the scene question for everybody. And, oh man. This prompt is so open, it's ridiculous because are we saying from your perspective as players or from your character's perspective? Because the question is, what about Division is mundane?
Oh, that is two completely different questions.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of Division juxtaposing the mundane and the fantastical. So I think that
The next question is how is
okay.
Division strange? So that, that's why I'm kind of like figuring out how you view this. So
I love the idea of like very boring drop ceiling governmental like boring office, and then you go into some random room and there's a 30-foot burning tree from hell, and you just close that door and you move on, like, and then you're back into like the very mundane hallway.
So government offices, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
The parts that are government offices are very much that.
Oh, God.
It is
Okay.
it is architecturally uninspired.
Yes. It's a box, all right.
And that gives me an idea for how is it strange.
Okay. Well, we're working on mundane, like.
I know. I'm just mentioning this so I
Okay.
get to go first next time.
Okay.
I don't have an idea for how it's mundane, so if anyone else does, please go.
I like the idea that it is just entirely unremarkable.
I think a good touchstone here is laundry files, if anyone has
Yes,
great
I've
idea of that.
started reading it. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm desperately trying not to make this the oldest house from Control.
Yeah, me
Is
too.
what I'm doing. There is no, I can't imagine a government agency in any building that isn't a perfectly gray cube.
It's like a brutalist nightmare. Yeah. I wonder if Division has, like a standard sort of government dress code, like the boring suit.
I was wondering,
which
yeah.
I imagine can get very weird, actually, depending on the kind of physical makeup of the various monsters at Division. Like perhaps you open the door and see that monstrous tree, and it's like sort of tried to stuff itself into its approximation of, a starched white button down.
Really
that
big
so
necktie
much.
around the trunk.
Yeah,
Because that means
exactly.
you have an
Perfect
infernal
image.
tailor, and the infernal tailor is tasked with make boring government clothes.
Yeah, just
Oh,
a
fuck.
horrible tree with
Oh no.
human hands on the end of each of its limbs.
Oh gosh.
Making the worst suit you can imagine.
Damn. But we're saying like standard dress code suit uniform.
Yep. Because
Oh,
it's
God.
terrible.
Yes, it is terrible. Oh my God. It's like being in like banking or something. Oh gosh. Okay. Now the fun question, which is how is Division strange? Which I don't know how you want to interpret that, because it's like it's got you and then you got your characters. So have at it. And if you want two answers to it, please feel free. I mean, like, we're painting the scenes here. Chris, you wanted to go first
Oh,
for strange?
I think the mundanity is tactical. I think every boring thing about division is in place to keep hell at bay.
Some demon pops out and just goes, "Oh God, bureaucracy!" It goes away.
I have enough of this at home.
Right. Hierarchy. God damn. Okay. Sure. Okay. How is division strange?
I'd like to suggest that we make the tree in a suit canon.
Oh, for sure.
They're like the secretary.
Okay.
I thought there were
Cool.
the tailor.
No.
Oh,
No, someone had to tailor things for them, and yeah, I think we should also have a tailor.
What
But
if they're both trees?
and they really hate each other.
Tailor and secretary hate each other.
both trees made of human arms.
Both. Wait, they're both trees made out of human arms. Is that what I heard?
Yeah,
That's yeah,
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
whomping willow, but for secretarial work and or tailoring.
Actually, that makes perfect sense to me because of all the branches.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
How
got
many
it. I got
forms
it.
you could fill out or stitch at the same time?
Exactly. I love it. I love it. Okay.
If this
Okay.
doesn't-
Well,
Oops, sorry.
well, wait. If we're gonna make this canon, and I'm perfectly happy to do it myself if somebody doesn't already have names for the tailor and the secretary. I can do it myself, but I mean, like I said, if somebody's got some ideas right now, I'm perfectly happy to do it.
If we want to do
Bruce.
one. Did you say Bruce?
yeah,
I was going to say
For-
Bruce.
For
yes.
wait,
Yeah, Bruce and Taylor.
Oh no,
Oh.
I think all trees are named Bruce.
Wait,
oh,
all
no. They're both
Oh,
named
shit.
Bruce and they hate each other. Perfect. Yeah, I've
Okay.
worked this. I've worked in this office.
Okay, now wait. They're both named Bruce. They're both trees. Is there any distinguishing feature between the two, or are we doing the joke from Hot Fuzz?
Hang on. How many kinds of spruce are there?
Oh my God.
Bruce.
It's got to be a
Bruce.
spreading tree. It's got to be something that has like lots of branches to be able to do the tailoring and the secretarial / administrative work now. Okay. And we cannot have like,
all right.
you know, like a slender tree that doesn't have enough.
Yeah, so unfortunately the spruce is out.
I think it would be like the obvious answer to me is that Bruce, the secretary, his tailored garments, their tailored garments are obviously crap. The tailor has done a deliberately bad job.
Oh my God. And then Bruce the tailor, of course, is bespoke, well fitted.
Exactly.
Okay.
But he never gets his messages.
Yeah, you
Mm.
have to go see him in person.
There we go. Office politics.
Oh my God, this is great. Oh Lord.
So excited for this game already.
Oh my gosh. I love this. I love this already. I was gonna introduce some people, but I don't have to. You guys are doing great. I like Wisp, you got any like strangeness for the definition? Holy crap, I
Sorry,
love
my
this canon.
mind heard Bruce the Spruce and then like promptly shut down. So I don't have an answer yet.
Sorry.
I will
If
not
it's not-
apologize because
I didn't ask you to apologize.
If it isn't skewing too much towards the oldest house, I would really love if the layout was non-Euclidean. Like
Okay.
you could
Yeah.
go in a full circle and end up somewhere else,
Yes, I love it.
which also is a great defense against hell because it's confusing as all get out.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, like, or like, shifting panels.
Okay, I think I can do a twist on that, which is I think all of the division branches are connected to each other.
The
You-
way
you
we
can-
sure
you
did that
can
was with
walk
ley
from
lines.
all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
So
no, but what I mean is you can walk, like you can go down a hallway in one and end up in, or you
What
can
if-
walk down a
what if
hallway in
Secretary
Pennsylvania and end
Bruce-
up in Sweden or whatever.
What if Secretary Bruce is a world tree?
Oh fuck! Oh shit! You're so smart. Your brain, your mind.
We can just Bruce it.
oh my God.
Wait, what does that make? Yeah, two competing world trees.
The tailors from a dead world.
Oh God.
Oh fuck! You're lying.
No. Oh does Petri like lecture Bruce the tailor? Because I mean, like, we can't have that because okay. Anyway. I mean, if they're not making clothes for you guys, then it's probably
No
fine.
world is dead. Not really.
All right, I'm gonna put that in quotation
I
marks.
do think I am trying to, or maybe I've like, I don't know. I feel like me and Bruce the tailor from the dead worlds are friends.
Okay, that's cool. I will have you interact with any NPCs that you want. So I mean, if you want to be buds with Bruce the tailor, I'm cool with that. That's fine.
Look, I'm mushrooms, baby. I love talking to trees.
All right, cool.
You're almost cousins.
Mm. All right.
I'm
Next
thinking
question.
about that one poplar forest. It's all actually one tree, but it's a whole forest. Is it poplars?
Yeah,
No.
it's something. I know it's Pando is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's actually, it is now, because of traumatic like landfall or landslides and stuff, it is now several organisms.
Oh, that's
Oh my God. Okay.
maybe that's
Next.
how reproduction happens. You just grow big enough until a landslide makes you into two beings.
Yeah, mitosis, but for
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm
full
like,
size trees.
oh my God.
Is that what happened with Bruce and Bruce?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I got that.
reconciliation arc.
All right.
And you never
I'm
fight with
gonna
anyone. You fight
need
like you
some.
fight with your parents.
I'm gonna need some processing time with that one because it's like, there can be some weird scenes. I mean, I'm just saying. Oh my God. Anyway, next question. How are the monstrous agents like you treated differently than the human agents? And how does this show in division structure? I don't know if you hear the storm outside my window, but God dog it.
I don't
It's
hear
storming.
anything.
Okay, cool.
What was the question?
How are the monstrous agents like you treated differently than the human agents? And how does this show in division structure?
I mean, the cruel answer is the monstrous agents obviously have more paperwork to fill out.
Yeah,
That is so cruel.
I don't know if I want to do that because I don't want to have a game of essentially of filling out paperwork. But I think
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a way for it to like obviously the division is our handlers. We can't not have the humans be in charge. But there is this like, I don't know. I'm like twisting around the idea of like special forces doctrine and the idea that they literally need monsters to deal with most of their shit.
You are Omen class after
that's
all.
just textually true, but that does not mean that they aren't, putting as tight a leash on us as possible for obvious reasons.
depending on how tight that leash you want, we could, and how many NPCs Mads wants to run at any given time. Every Omen class monster could have at least one handler, like specifically assigned to them. You never get to do anything. Well, not never, but like they're powerful enough that it's like you are someone's full-time responsibility.
Ooh. Oh God, what are they? That is a handler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, handler.
I mean, if
Like a
that's the
high
case,
value-
what I want from each of you then is like I want their name and I want to know like what they look like. And then yes.
I wonder if like every month or every however long we have to, sit down and do an evaluation with our handler that it's like specifically not an evaluation of like how we've been doing our job and the quality of our work, but like a sort of Voight-Kampf test sort of thing, like a psychological evaluation of how close we are to becoming a harbinger.
I feel it feels
I
very
like
true
that.
to the
Cool.
bureaucracy. I like it a lot.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
Also gives us confessional moments easily enough.
Oh, yes. I'm
I
happy to
wonder if
include
they-
that
I
one.
wonder if there are some kind of truth doohickey involved. Probably not every time.
You're talking mechanical or more arcane?
I mean, it is the mission of Division to make those two things the same thing, I think.
True. True. They involve all of it for sure. Okay, so each one of you has has a handler. And then would you say that there's any places in Division that you would be forbidden to go? Or maybe like restricted only at certain times? What do you think?
I don't think they let any of us too close to hell. It's like too close to the outer parts of the facility. On account of that is hell itself.
Yeah. I think you almost have maybe a ring where the outer stuff is forbidden because it's hell, and the innermost stuff is forbidden because it is the leadership of Division, and they wouldn't want someone with weird darkness powers influencing decisions.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that the war room, which is like kept triple secret insulated with every kind of ward they have. Just a big Doctor Strange love table in there.
Actually, it's like that's actually the last question of Division, which that's like I inadvertently asked a little too soon. So but even if there's like a particular area that maybe each one of you individually is off limits.
Oh.
I
I'm
have an
not
idea
allowed.
for that.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
So I think at some point during initial time loop, Division learned about it and use it to perform experiments in a repeatable way. So there is a room that contains those experiments that Vivi must never go near because their knowledge of it would invalidate the results of the experiments.
Oh no, you'd skew the result. Oh God. Oh no. Love it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
What's in there? Who knows? Maybe they're testing the best kind of paperclip. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter. You can't go in there. They have strictly told you no, you cannot do it.
Do we think that the our crew sleep in the main part of the base, or do we have, like, if Division has this whole town, do we have houses?
They'd want to be
Ooh.
able to lock us in an emergency.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think we have containment zones.
Mhm.
We each have our own special cell, which is also where we sleep.
I don't think I'm allowed to sleep near you.
Mm.
Mm. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, this brings up some other stuff. So yeah, I mean, how does it look for you guys being together, being Omen class monsters? That's how your designation, that's your designation. Where are you in Division headquarters, and are you near each other? Like, do you have a common area? Are you like completely separated and only come together for missions? What's going on here,
Trying to
And are your
figure.
handlers anywhere near you
Mm.
on certain times of the day?
I
Because they are
really
human.
like the idea of the town of Centralia being sort of an under the dome monster village, actually.
I mean, there must be other monsters who aren't Omen class running about here.
Yes. Well, I mean, again,
So
you have Bruce the tailor, Bruce the secretary. So I mean, like, there would be other creatures that or like
There's
the
a move that we can take that implies the existence of like an orphanage for monsters,
yeah,
monster
Oh.
babies.
yep,
Right.
Division takes in and raises.
yep. And then like, there's also possibility of ghostly agents. I mean, obviously, like there's energies here that draw into the supernatural, plus the the occult and uh extraterrestrial. I mean, like as we've seen. So I mean, yeah, you run the gamut. Again, like, are you how close are you guys? I mean, like, when you're placed in your living quarters.
So I'm kind of of two minds about this. And on the one hand, I can see keeping everybody very far apart because that makes sort of sense for containment. But honestly, I don't think that's that interesting.
No.
I think what's more interesting is, given that we've already established regular interviews, potentially with a truth-telling device, one of the things that is expected is ratting out your neighbors if they get too close to being a harbinger. Like, you are responsible for, I mean, even mechanically, we are responsible for dealing with each other if one of us goes out the book. So, like, keep us close to each other, then, like, you're already right there on the front line if something bad happens, and it is your responsibility immediately.
Some of us are guards and some of us are prisoners, and they'll never tell us which is which.
Yep, exactly. Because that won't make any relationships complicated.
Yeah, Zero, I hope you're putting that note about your handler into your playbook so this way I can see it. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Oh man.
Do we have a dedicated tab where we can keep track of NPCs and such?
Yes. Well, I'm gonna create one actually. You
Okay,
know what? Let me borrow
cool.
from the other sheet, because I actually didn't mind the way that looked. Let me see.
Yeah, you can just copy paste.
I am going to, like, it's like portraits. Yeah, I think that's the tab
You
I
could
want.
even color code like the four columns per character. Right? It's 4 by a bunch or 5.
Mm-mm. All right, sorry if it's janky, because it's like it still has all the information from our game. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, like, this pretty much this format here. I mean, and then we can include like an extra cell to include copy for them before you get like portraits and stuff. So yeah, I think I added the copy of portraits. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead and, like, take out the stuff that's already in there, and then unless you want to use some of use some of the portraits as PCs, whatever you want to do. But yeah, you can put NPCs in here. You can put your character, your character pictures in here as well, if you want. Tal Sebastian is actually my character from this game that we're finishing up. So if you wanted to see what they look like, feel free to use them as an NPC.
Hey, what the fuck is Chief? Where did you get that image?
What?
I
Where?
don't care about who the NPC is, but where did
Oh,
you
I don't
get
know.
that image?
I don't know where Mona like pulled half of this shit from. I know that Bobby Bob Howard is from Laundry Files, but yeah, I mean, like, I think she pulled them from all over the damn place. Yeah, I don't know. I
My
mean,
first
it's
guess
like,
would be Shin Megami Tensei, but like they don't look like this. I can't
it's like
extract an image.
the 80s had themselves an acid dream.
or kind of like something that would be out of Monty Python,
Yep.
Yeah.
but just more like, distinct looking, rather than like their weird little cartoon. Yeah. So again, feel free, borrow. That's fine. And just take out the
I can move
identifiers.
the image, but I can't.
Okay. I don't have a.
Not just gonna put
Are
that
we-
over here and remove Chief.
Actually, you can. Somehow I did it Or did I take it completely out? I apologize.
It's like
No, it's
not even
there.
letting you right click on it.
I mean, I don't have a right click on mine, and I just basically like copy and then pasted it. That's weird. Okay. Just copy it again and then try to put it back. Just for funsies. Yeah.
Like the idea
I
of
was
a
able to copy it.
strange,
Yeah.
weird fax machine brain.
You already have
send no crap.
Bruce.
Yeah, somebody's killed the chief, at least in our game, and that's the final
Oh.
mystery that we're trying to deal with. So it's like, oh no. Okay. All right. So let's see. The last question that I'm gonna ask for this evening before we end is, what is your favorite area of Division? Like, you had a place that you were completely deemed off limits from, but what is your favorite part of Division? Favorite area?
Good question. I can't decide if I'm banned from ever entering the garden or love it in there. The greenhouse.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a regular greenhouse. It could be something specific
Oh
to
no, absolutely not.
could be something specific to a particular ecosystem, or something maybe that you've cultivated.
I know where I'm banned from. I'm banned from the prophecy division. All of the various prophecy and future sight and fortune telling divisions. I cannot go anywhere near.
Yeah, the oracles hate you. So just so you know, I think you knew that, but they make it very clear. Like, they have your picture
Because
and then
I
they put
shatter their only
Yes.
because my very existence disproves their illusion of one future.
I think there's actually there's somebody in the oracle section that is fascinated by you because of that.
Okay.
But I think she's more of like the multi-dimensional type of personality herself. So we'll see how this plays. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, like, what's your if anybody can think of anything like their favorite part of Division?
If there is a room, I'm picturing a room where, again, we're following our spaces don't matter. You open this door beside a janitorial closet, and there's like an old growth forest in there. And there's maybe even some extinct animals in there. And Vivi likes it in there because there are big, tall plants. And I don't think Vivi's home planet had macroscopic plants. So Vivi is maybe fascinated with plants.
Wow. Wisp, do you have a favorite
The
part?
door that leads to Ankylosaur hell.
I think there's a memorial in Centralia. It's a graveyard, really, but like for Division agents who died in ways that Division does not wish to explain to the outside world. And that's Wisp's favorite place, not because of what it is. I think she actually doesn't know why, but it's because she shared I think this is where she had her last conversation with Vivi before her memory was erased. So she doesn't remember why this place means so much to her.
God dang it.
She just knows how she feels when she's there.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I'm okay. Just shipping. It's all right.
I like the idea of part of Division human office culture being finding, like, there's that graveyard full of people that Division doesn't talk about how they died. If you can find out how someone died in there that you're not supposed to know about it, and also get proof, that's like office clout. It's kind of a harmless secret in a lot of ways.
And also super morbid. I love it.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why their suits are standard. because, well, you know, their attrition rate is rather high. Soft
These would be like
humans.
the weird deaths, right? Like the ones where
Yes,
like
these are, yeah,
oh
like they wouldn't be getting a regular funeral with
Yeah.
the regular stuff because maybe they're not in the right shape. Anyway, stuff
Right,
like
they
that.
were like torn apart atom by atom. There's nothing
Yeah,
to
yeah.
bury.
or this Agent 7, whenever we expose their corpse to oxygen, it bursts into flame.
God.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Feels like the between trophy room. Sorry, it's just like, what the hell, man? Oi. Wait, is there a place
I
that
mean, like there is. I think there is no better illustration of the difference between the Between and Apocalypse keys than replacing the trophy room with a graveyard.
I forgot to ask, is there a place that Wisp is restricted from going? Is like off limit to Wisp?
Yeah, I think there's a dedicated conference room for hosting like important meetings with kind of interdimensional beings, interdimensional what is the word I'm looking for?
Entities.
No, like a group of people who are sent somewhere for a purpose. It's kind of like
Delegates?
delegates. Yeah,
Data
exactly. Thank you.
delegation.
Delegation. Yeah, yeah. I think that division lately has been working with the kind of noble fae from my realm. And I know about that, but I'm not supposed to know anything more. So I'm just like not allowed to be in the vicinity, regardless of whether there's a planned visit or not.
Shoot. Damn. Okay.
I have
All
a
right.
suggestion as well for Wisp and Zero.
Okay.
What if Wisp was there, sorry, Zero was there and Wisp was summoned.
No.
What if no
Other
other way
way.
around? Zero was there and Wisp was summoned, right?
Mhm.
What if Zero is now banned from where Wisp was summoned and Wisp is banned from where Zero was found?
Oh my God. What? Wait, my brain just got hurt. What? Ow. So,
I mean, it's implied that only one of those places is in division, right?
Didn't? Oh, that's true. Well, not necessarily. The Zero was found in a factory, right? That
yeah.
In
an abandoned facility.
You don't know like who owned it.
Zero was found in a division lab, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't specifically say division. It just says an
Yeah.
abandoned facility that performed cruel
Which
experiments.
could be traced possibly back to division. We don't know yet.
Could be.
If it is, I mean, it may not be, but who knows? And then like the other place where like Wisp was summoned could be near a division facility. It doesn't necessarily have to be the main one. Or
Also,
do you remember being in a forest, or do you remember being like in a lab or like a division place, Wisp, when you came
I
through?
think it was a division facility that I came through
Okay.
to. Yeah, it doesn't have to be HQ, but
Okay. Right. But I mean, it was identified in some way as possibly division related or division affiliated, I bet. So we can explore that more in play, since we have 3 minutes left. So I don't want to keep anybody too much over the time, because I've been known to do that, and I'm terrible of me. I apologize. So in this case, like a little bit of homework, sorry. Looks like Zero has already done so, but I mean, if the rest of you can come up with the name of your handler, kind of what they look like, or act like, that would be fantastic. If you come up with a portrait for them, like, that's even more fun. That's great. And yeah, I mean, I will get this video to you as soon as it converts over, and I have time tomorrow to do so. And then yeah, if you don't remember what you said tonight, then like you can just watch it over, because I know I will. I'll be rewatching this to get ready for next time, because what we're gonna do is we're going to enter in next session with some establishing scenes about like waking up in division, like where do you find yourselves, like in living quarters, and possibly doing some interactions before we jump into the first mystery. Okay, because I want to establish how you guys deal with each other to start. All right, so again, come up with your handlers, and then be ready to figure out how you want to frame up maybe some establishing scenes, and then we're going to jump into the first mystery next time. I don't know if anybody wants to we didn't really do anything except for create stuff, so I mean stars and wishes doesn't necessarily really apply, but I mean if you have any comments or thoughts about what we did today, that would be great.
I'm kind of having a ball. So
All right.
this is fun.
Yeah. I love the two trees. I mean, oh my God, the dueling trees. That's great. Got to establish something, because if you guys weren't going to introduce something funny, I was. So.
I love our dueling trees.
Oh my God.
I'm sure it'll be
can't wait.
heartrending when something attacks division and destroys one of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. So
I will die for Bruce.
which one?
Which one?
Yes.
Which Bruce? Oh man.
Who's closest?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Can Zero tell the Bruces apart? That would be embarrassing.
Yes, of course.
They're wearing
Okay,
different
good.
suits, right?
What
Yeah,
if they're not
Bruce
wearing
has a
the
tie.
suits? What if they're not wearing the suits? The suits get
Then they're
damaged.
naked, and that's against at least 3 office policies.
I don't think by the time that they're out of the suits for whatever reason that we're gonna care, because there's other important things to worry about.
Our second mission will be navigating an HR meeting with both Bruces.
Oh, this inter office war's gotta stop.
Oh God. Oh no.
Oh man, that's great. Okay, so if there is nothing else, are you frozen, Chris? Chris, you there?
I can hear you.
Okay, fabulous. Alrighty. So anyway, if there's nothing else, then yeah, I mean just get ready for next time. Again, just introduce some of the NPCs, and watch you guys interact, and then
Did we
we're
answer
going
all the
to
division questions?
yes, we did, I think. If you have if you come up with anything else, for the strange, the mundane, or the where you're not allowed to go, or what is your favorite part, you have other favorite parts of division, I mean please have at it, feel free and message me or put it in the chat, and then we can add it to the character keeper. But yeah, I mean aside from that, I mean I think we're ready to roll, and yeah, I will see you guys next time, next Monday for full session next time. Okay. Thank you very much.
July.
All righty. Take care, you guys. See you next time.
Take care.
Good night.
Happy
Thank you.
gaming.
Folks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.